We had our shit. We weren't really concerned about other people's shit. And it's like, and our shit was dope. People from out of town who were
Yeah, you'll
like,
be impressed if you come here.
right. Like, I know you've heard of Roxy. I know Roxy. We're making this shit up as we go along. And there are people who are paying us to do that. That's insane.
But like JD Sampson from La Tigre would be over here. And
Right.
Michael Stipe was at the bar.
Hey there, it's me, Roxy Cottontail. You might know me as a DJ, artist, designer, and New York City party promoter, or from my bunny logo. I'm putting all that on the table and writing about the years that transformed music and the New York City scene. I've interviewed 250 friends and colleagues I admire. I ask all and reveal all. Please join me and the Tales to rediscover the 90s and the Y2K magical landscape of music, art, technology, and streetwear. This is Roxy's Tales.
Why don't you tell us who you are, what you do, what you did, how we know each other?
My name is Kareem Black. I'm a professional photographer and director. I've been a professional photographer for 20 years. I'm still here in New York. Worked with Roxy a couple of times on a couple of things. Been out with Roxy a bunch of times in a couple different places.
My guest this week on Roxy's Tales is an unparalleled documentarian, Kareem Black. Kareem has photographed absolutely everyone for everything. It's hard to put into words, but his portfolio is immense. We met 20 years ago when he photographed me. He was always hanging with the coolest, most creative chicks in the room when it came to nightlife. So we dive into that history and how we co-created Hey Girl Hey, a lifestyle enhancement video, which was our comedic and cinematic infomercial of the time. Without further ado, Kareem Black.
How did we meet? I feel like I was in, like, my crew was like Jules Kim, like famous jeweler, and like Brooke, a photographer, Brooke Niper, like that whole crew. And that crew knew you. Like I hung out with a bunch of really cool, beautiful, super talented women. And those women all knew you. And they all knew the coolest places to go out. Like I was sort of like in their shadow kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, yeah, exactly. So you can see that everybody else is cool except for me. Like I'm that guy. And so I feel like I was trying to think of the first spot we met. I mean, it couldn't have been Sway, but I remember seeing you there like a ton. Maybe Santos Party House. I don't know.
No. Santos.
I do not know where we met.
Okay, I'm gonna guess. Well, I know that I think it was Katie, because her and Natalie Blacker had the ladies lotto, right?
Oh God, that's right. Yeah.
And Pebbles was a part of that. And I remember because she was Natalie's intern, right? Pebbles was
okay. So yeah, Pebbles was Natalie's intern, and she could probably tell you a story much better than I could. But I'm not sure how I got Pebbles as an intern, but she sort of was like this cool, like blonde, like pre-Roxy, like proto-Roxy, and I gave her the name Baby Rox. I must have known you when Pebbles became my intern, because I wouldn't have been like, your Baby Rox. Like I named her that.
I think it was, the girls telling me like Kareem named his intern after you.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, the whole ladies lotto moment. Fuck, when was that?
Because this party was at Soho 323 on Thursdays, and Jules and I were doing this together for most of 2006, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Looking at Jules's bangs, yeah, that makes sense.
You can tell by her bangs.
Yeah, and the haircut, like the hair color. Yeah. But
yeah,
so that was 2006. I mean, I'm gonna say we met around 2005, 2006. I don't know exactly where, but Ladies Lotto seems like a good place to start.
Yeah. So how did you meet Jules and Katie and Brooke?
I met Brooke first. I used to date a photographer who's not at all in the scene. Her name's Emily Scher. And Emily knew Brooke when she had first moved into the city. They sort of bonded on like a strong, amazing female photographer thing. And Brooke used to go to the same dark rooms back in the day when there were dark rooms. She used to go to the same dark rooms with me. And so that's how, and eventually me and Brooke became like, friends on like some photographer shit. And she's a cool ass girl, like, and hopefully she thinks I'm cool too. And I think that was the first person I met out of that crew. I remember I used to work with this guy, David Gensler. I don't know if you know this guy.
Yeah, I forget what his company was back then.
The KMD.
KMD, because they were
right?
somehow affiliated with Herb, and I was on the cover of Herb one year.
Right. Like David was on like he has his fingers in a bunch of different pies, And so they put out a magazine, a little zine thing, and he wanted me to shoot Jules. I remember that was my first time. I think I probably already knew Brooke by this point, but I think Jules was like super fresh to the city. And when Jules came up, like everyone knew, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, you can't miss her. And Katie was just, I feel like that, I'm not exactly sure how I met Katie, but that's maybe through Jules. Like, I feel like a lot of shit flows through Jules.
Because Katie was coming to Sway first. And I think she said someone in her office at Warner was wearing a necklace. And that's how her and Jules, she bought the necklace and had to friends. And then she started bringing Jules to Sway. I had started doing a weekly with Jules like immediately,
That's Sway.
Yeah, no, at 323. Sorry, not immediately. It was maybe like a year later that 323 started popping off. And then where else were you going at this point in time?
Well, what year was that? I mean, I think the short answer is like I was probably going anywhere that Brooke and Jules were going. Like, I don't think, like, here's the thing, like, I don't think I was any kind of a trailblazer in that way, like where it's like, oh, I'm gonna go, like, I know where this party is, like, it's like I already had access to like the coolest and most beautiful like fucking 5'9" girls in the city, and they knew. And it's like, and if I'm rolling with them, like, I'm obviously like, there's no questions when I get in, like, there's gonna be free shit for me. So I was very much sort of, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I was very much in their wake.
Did you shoot for Mass Appeal as well?
Yeah, I shot for Mass Appeal. I shot a couple covers for them, and I think that Mass Appeal ended. Like, I feel like I was like one of the, like at the tail end of that.
Yeah.
Possibly. Like, I'm not sure. Basically the phone stopped ringing a little bit for Mass Appeal, and I stopped seeing Mass Appeal around, and that was sort of in my memory like when Misbehave was like blowing up. I was definitely more entrenched with like Misbehave World than Mass Appeal World, just because it came in at the end of Mass Appeal World.
Yeah.
Where that's how it seemed to me. The interesting thing about that whole time was it was such a sort of it was a time where like there were certain things that were just ours. Like, it was our people, it was our space kind of thing. Like, I definitely think Sway became that. Sake Bar was one of those. Do you know what I mean? Like, I could go to Sake Bar without Brooke and Jules. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and it'd be cool. Like,
I also like Luke and Leroy was, I remember right after I met Katie and Jules, I think it was 2005, and I have that flyer too, where they were, it was on my birthday, and I was like, is it cool if I come and like come for your Taco Tuesday? They were both bartending, like the guest bartenders.
I feel like it was more like a clubhouse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just people would show up. There are people like you might have seen like an hour before, people you might have seen like 3 months ago. It's just like all family. Like, that was the interesting thing about a couple of the spots in that time, where it was like, it's like definitely Sway. Like, if you go to Sway, you're gonna see a bunch of motherfuckers. Like, you're going to have a good time because like a bunch of people, everybody knows your name. It's like Cheers. You know what I mean? Like,
you're like, you're my 48th interview.
Yeah.
And you are probably like out, like 20 people have said it's like Cheers.
That was the thing about that time. You know what I'm saying? It was just like
very intimate.
Like, we had our shit. We weren't really concerned about other people's shit. And it's like, and our shit was dope, And if you go to a place like where Roxy's running the party, or like Jules and Katie, like, it is a real family vibe. Like, and I'm not sure exactly what, like, I think that did sort of change a little bit as we grew up. I'm not sure exactly why, but there was a real sort of seat of your pants kind of thing where it's like, oh my God, like there's this party happening. It's going to be some completely new shit. I also felt like you and like people who were sort of creating that culture, like it was completely new, you know, because in a way where it's like we were having fun, we were doing drugs, we were drinking just like generations had before, but there was also this element of like social media kind of thing. It was sort of like the Wild West, like everyone was trying to figure out how to promote on MySpace. Like everybody had sort of a different take on it. And then like when Facebook came out, it was like, I remember me and Brooke couldn't even figure out how to use it kind of, because it was so different. I remember Bronx was the first one who told me about something called Twitter.
Oh,
Like
wow.
I remember when that happened, and the way that he described it, I was like, that sounds dumb.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So it's funny that you say that, because I think it was South by Southwest it must have been 07 or 08. Herb approached me. It might have been Gensler. I don't know who approached me. Oh, no. Josh Glazer was the editor. He said, we want you to tweet for us at South by Southwest. And I was like, what? And he's like, it's 140 characters of like the barbecue, the DJ, the band you saw, where you're going. I'm like, why would anyone want to know that?
It sounds so dumb. And like, it sounded so dumb to me. Like, I have no idea
I know.
why. Yeah.
I was really early on, because I bet you there was like 1,000 people. It was like so early. And Katie, I've sent Katie her first invite, Money, Paloma. I like made Paloma, I like sat Paloma down and was like, this is what you need.
Right. Well, I think that was like one of the magical things about that time was like, and that we were like the first sort of generation to like be in that age kind of thing. And like, and it was in flux for a while. Like a lot of people were just trying to figure out how to use it. Like the message, and everybody had a different way. Like the message boards that you're talking about, like I had I wasn't on those, but like I was trying to figure out Twitter. Like I was trying to figure out sort of like how to manipulate it. Like we were talking about the Oxy sticker that like it's still up everywhere. Like I had my sticker campaigns that was out that might have possibly been inspired by that. I don't know, but it's just like, that was an early version of sort of Twitter.
Speaking of stickers, well, I don't know why this led me there, but I remember you shot me for Red Stripe. Do you remember that book?
I vaguely, oh my God, yeah.
Little book.
Oh my God, yeah. That's when we first met. Do you have it?
Yes, I do have it. I have it. Not.
Do you have a picture? I remember it, but that's crazy. That is absolutely when we first met. I didn't know who you were when we shot.
Because I remember too, I rode my BMX bike to your place. You lived in the 20s?
Yeah, 22nd and between second and third.
So I'm
that's crazy.
I'm 28th between Lex and Third. I don't know why I just thought of that, but it had rained and I was wet. Do you remember this?
And I remember your hair in the shot. I don't remember raining that day, but I remember, yeah.
You were like, this is great. You're like in your element. You just rode your BMX bike here. This is perfect.
I'd love to see that shot. That's crazy.
I found it. It wasn't Red Stripe. It was Budweiser Select.
Oh, I have this. Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh wow, Ben Cho too. Did you shoot all of these?
I don't think I shot all of them. I think I shot probably like 80%. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I was pissed. Yeah. I was wet.
I actually do have that, and I look at it like I see the cover of it, but I've forgotten what's in it. You know, all these pictures you're showing me, like this is a fucking moment in time.
It's so good.
None of us knew what the fuck we were doing.
I know. So good.
But it was great. Like our game phases were like unmatched. Like, you know,
so good.
Like we knew what we were doing.
We were in each other's orbit, I would say.
Yeah.
And friends and within the scene. And then in 2009, we started collaborating on the Hey Girl Hey.
I don't know whose idea it was. I thought it was hilarious with these sort of girls who are notorious, like everybody knows you know, you see these girls out and it's like always gonna be crazy stories and you know, they're all fucking like beautiful and like larger than life characters. And I thought the idea of like a workout video was absolutely hilarious.
This
Um
was the flyer for the event.
yeah, yeah, I remember my boy Julian designed maybe it was this one, but there was another there were a couple designs for it. One was you on the roof, like this one picture of just you by yourself. Yeah, I think the whole like 80s like jazzercise court sort of inspired thing. Like I feel like it was brilliant having Amanda Lepore being part of it.
Well, I
Uh,
think originally I from my email that I looked through briefly, I was like, we need to get Caswell in it. And he was like, oh, would you want Amanda? And I was like, Amanda would do it. Like that was his idea. And he was,
okay, I think that
I think,
so I've been enamored with Amanda for
I
decades,
definitely have.
you know, like since like David LaChapelle days, like late 90s. And so maybe that was the first time I had sort of, and then I had shot her subsequent, like after that a couple times. But yeah, I just think it worked so well. I think like Amanda Lepore is sort of like that party icon of like that generation, like her having trading cards and shit and
Yeah.
like, fitting into this whole thing, like the Hey Girl Hey thing. Palomo is absolutely hilarious. Fucking Pebbles.
Mom and I co-wrote this alongside you. So do you know whose idea it was? Because I feel like you came to us and we're like,
You know what? I think whenever like the conversation starts going like this, like how we're having right now, I think it was like a conversation. Do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
like
Method idea.
saying we have to
Um,
collaborate on something. It's our time. To do
I
something.
remember it was hot as fuck on that roof.
It was like 100 and something degrees.
Remember you did that like Hey Girl Hey, like the video like premiere.
Yes.
But,
Yeah.
yeah,
The Red Bull.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
dope. That was so amazing. I just thought that, and this is a compliment, like I just thought it was like a dope event. Like obviously I was the director, but it was kind of like, hey, like you guys want to see something fucking cool that happens to involve some LGBT, like it's like I
Yeah.
don't know. I just thought it was like a fucking cool event. And I think that that's like what all of the shit was like that we're rolling in around that time. Like it was definitely like all inclusive. Like don't be a dick. Like if you're dope, come to the thing. Do you know what I mean? I think that that was like the really sort of magical thing about that whole time. You know,
For
there
sure.
was no, it wasn't, I never felt sort of like judged about it, you know,
Yeah. Well,
like
like another question is like, were you always welcomed in nightlife? You never like felt intimidated?
yeah, no, I never felt like, look, I feel like there were doors that I probably couldn't get in because like if I went by myself, like if I'm with Brooke and Jules, then I get in. But it's like I feel like the thing about being sort of a photographer is like I could have shot that billboard over there, but you don't know that
Yeah.
I did that. So it's like an anonymous sort of, you know, so but that's sort of just like club life. It's not, it's
Yeah.
like, you know, so yeah, I always felt welcome. I understand the politics of the door. Like if the doorman doesn't know that I shot that fucking billboard over there or whatever. But yeah, other than that, like it was all good. Like it was just, you know, gay, straight, trans, black, white, whatever. Like that wasn't even, I don't think that was ever a thing.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. It was just all these cool kids from various areas of New York, every borough.
Yeah.
But like JD Sampson from La Tigre would be over here. And
Right.
Michael Stipe was at the bar.
Like that point is so dope because it's true. Like it was so I don't know the word, but it was so everybody and just like invite, like if you're a dick or if you're doing like some weird shit, then you're not gonna be involved in it. But I felt no pressure to be cool enough, or I never felt the vibe where people were like, oh, that person's not cool enough, so we can't sit with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it was, I don't know. It was like a very, very, it
And
was,
it was like a very live in the moment spontaneity about it that, you know, and just even like I was the party photographer. Like I took these, even this is early, I think even before, I mean, maybe I was having Mel come also, but I was also shooting all of these.
You know what was happening? Like I would bring people there, like either as a business thing where it's like, you know, people from out of town who are
Yeah,
like,
you'll be impressed if you come here.
right. Like, you know, I know you've heard of Roxy. I know Roxy. Like, you know what I mean? It was like that. Everything seemed to be moving so fast, you know, like I feel like we're all just like elevating so fast. Like all of a sudden, you know, Jules has like, you know, she's in Vogue or something, or Brooke did this. And I feel like that blur. And I think that while everything was elevating so fast, I just remember being really proud of like the crew. It seemed like just people were just, everything was growing. You know what I mean? Like everyone's fame, and not that it was never really about fame, but it was like actual like tangible shit, you know, like, you know, people are making art. And but I also think that things like fucking Hey Girl Hey, where like a bunch of us get together and make some shit where it's like the joke we're telling, we're basically telling ourselves the joke. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it's funny to us, and hopefully it's funny to everybody else, but if it's not, then who gives a shit? Yeah. And like making shit like that was so dope to me, you know, like, hey, like let's just tell our own jokes. Let's get on a roof in 100 degrees and like make a workout video. Like it sounds stupid, but we did it. Like actually, like those little things like really stick out to me, you know?
I mean, just the graphics that are so old school and ridiculous. It's just
something that we did. Like I feel like that, and it was like no, like, hey, you know what? I wonder if, you know, this brand would love this, or I want,
who cares?
We can't really talk too much about this because it's gonna offend. And it was like it was us telling ourselves jokes, and like
completely unsponsored.
And people were like down with it. Like even like back when I shot you, I guess it was for, what'd you say it was for? Like Red Bull or
that's Budweiser.
Budweiser. Like that's crazy. Like, why am I shooting it? Why are you in it? Like, we were just kind of like, it was like a time where we could do whatever we want. So like, there are multiple different sort of moments where it's just like, we're making this shit up as we go along. And there are people who are paying us to do that. That's insane.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, that's like, was the magical thing about that whole time for me. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. I don't know if you did. I had no idea, but people were just paying. It's like,
know how it was impacting people on the level that it was.
I think it was a whole, I mean, it wasn't a pyramid, it wasn't a sham, but it was like, people were like, I guess they know what they're doing. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but you know what? I'm gonna fake it.
I did not know what I was doing early on, but I learned really quickly.
Like I can totally fake it. And I can like that party that you've been hearing about, I know how to get into that. Like, let's do that. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and that's gonna probably convince you that I know what I'm doing. Like that shit that you talk about in the office that you can't get into, that you don't know where it is. I know how to do that. Like now let's shoot a Budweiser thing. Like, you know, it was so weird, you know?
How do you think all of that has impacted now?
Okay, so going back to sort of like us being probably like the first like social media kind of thing, like where we can navigate and like, and also like on some like weird, I used to call it abstract promotion, like self-promotion shit. Like as far as for us, like your sticker campaign, my sticker campaign, like it was so simple and so like analog, but you know, and like it was based off of sort of remember like the record labels used to have street teams, pick up shit, and it's like people see that shit, you know, and it's like I think now like shit like that is almost seen as more authentic because it is more analog. Like you put up something, you know, and it's not like sort of a curated, it's professionally sponsored by, you know, like sometimes today sponsors won't even put their names on it, so so advertisements will seem more authentic. It's interesting like how it's come from there to here, you know? I think there's a lot of shit. I think that's still evolving, you know, like how people are advertising themselves. I think that the world is very dynamic right now as far as how people speak and how people like communicate. I think we're at the forefront of that. And I think in a lot of ways we sort of shaped like what's an influencer? Like I knew a bunch of influencers before the word
Was a, even
was invented.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm telling you, you're telling me about a party that you can't get into and you have a pile of money that you want to pay me and I can get you into that party, like because I know this influencer, you know, like it's all like it was a proto thing that we're doing back then, but we're doing the same thing now, you know, and we were sort of the blueprint for you and Jules and Bro, like y'all were the blueprint for like how that works, you know, like you gotta, I know a guy, I know a girl who can work this whole thing out for you, you know, and it worked for, went from parties to sort of like, just campaign, like people have, you know, millions of followers now, like they're the plug, they're the person who can like get you into this culture. So I think we're at the forefront of that in that time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have any questions for me?
I mean, what do you think about that whole time?
You know, with the goal in mind that I had to become a designer in New York, but music has always been in like the back of my mind. And like I had a punk band when I was in high school. My mom's a retired music teacher. It's in my DNA, but I would never have thought that I would have been so engulfed by nightlife and music in that capacity. Like, see how I know how it happened, you know, but I would not have predicted that for my future self.
I think that there's no sort of generation before or after that was living in this space of like social media, like evolving.
Yeah. We were the first.
Let me know if you need anything else. I'm here.
All right. Thanks, Kareem.
Crazy, like going down memory lane like that.
I know. Thanks for hopping by. That's it for this week. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, and stalk. Bounce, little kitty.